Hello, and welcome to Palomar College's Success Workshop for students who are on probation level 2. Students on probation level 2 who successfully complete both parts of this online workshop will have their enrollment hold lifted within 24 to 48 hours. Part 1 will focus on success strategies. Many students, even successful ones, face academic challenges in college. The difference between successful students and struggling students are the daily choices they make. This segment will discuss choices you can make that will lead towards your own long-term academic and personal success. Let's begin with what you can do right now to improve your GPA. One benefit you may be eligible for is submitting a grade adjustment form. If you repeated the same course in which you have received a grade of D or lower, you can submit a grade adjustment form to forgive up to the first 2 attempts. In this example, the student completed Psych 100 in fall of 2016 and received a D grade. He took it again the following semester and received a B. This student can submit a grade adjustment for the D to be forgiven on their transcript. Let's say the student did not pass the class again in spring of 2017. He would also have one more attempt in this class, and the grade for spring 2017 would also be forgiven. Once a grade adjustment form has been submitted, the classes will be notated just like this on your transcript. This is also helpful to know when you want to take a look at your own transcript and are curious if an adjustment has been made or not. You will see here that the fall 2006 grade did not get removed from the transcript, but it will not be calculated into this student's grade point average. It's also important to note that the final grade you received in class replaces or forgives the previous grade, even if the grade is lower than the previous grade. In this case, the D grade is forgiven and the F grade is what will be used for the GPA calculation. Completing a grade adjustment is not automatic. A grade adjustment form must be submitted to the records office. The form can be found on the Evaluations and Records Office website. It can also be picked up at the records office. In order to complete it, you will need the following information: your name, date, student ID number, and date of birth. You will also need to know the course or courses in which you wish to forgive, along with the semesters you attempted them. As mentioned earlier, you can submit up to 2 previous attempts in a course. Another way you could potentially improve your GPA right now is by petitioning for academic renewal. Just like a grade adjustment, academic renewal excludes coursework from your GPA. However, this can be done without course repetition. I am now going to review the 5 eligibility requirements to petition for academic renewal. Step 1. At least 50% of the units in the term or terms under consideration must be substandard, which includes FWs, Fs, Ds, no credits, and no pass grades. In addition, the total GPA for that term must be less than 2.0. For example, if a student attempted 12 units in a semester, at least 6 of those units must be substandard, and the total GPA for that semester must be below 2.0. In addition to meeting the semester criteria, Step 2 states that 2 years must have passed since attempting the coursework to be excluded from GPA calculation. In addition to the 2-year time frame, a student must successfully complete 24 semester units since attempting the coursework and the terms to be disregarded. Step 4 indicates that the student must have a minimum 2.0 GPA since the time of attempting the coursework to be disregarded. Let's take a minute to summarize the first 4 steps. Number 1, at least 50% of the units in the term must be substandard grades with a term GPA below 2.0. Number 2, 2 years must have passed since the term in which you wish to be excluded from your GPA calculation. Number 3, you must have successfully completed 24 units since the term to be disregarded. Number 4, a minimum 2.0 GPA is required since the time of attempting the coursework to be disregarded. Step 5 of the process to petition for academic renewal is to submit the petition. It is also found on the same link as the grade adjustment form, or can be picked up at the records office. Once submitted, it will be reviewed by the records office to be sure that all eligibility criteria are met. You will then be notified by mail or email of the approval or denial of your request. Here is another visual of where the form is located online. For many students, just completing one or both of these forms will not only raise their GPA, but may even remove them from probation status. Now let's talk about additional choices you can make in the next semester to improve your GPA. Meeting with a counselor is a great way to improve your GPA. You can work with your counselor to discuss any previous barriers and develop strategies for future success. Your counselor can also assist you with career and major development, as well as establish an education plan to help you reach your educational and/or career goals. You may want to also consider taking classes in the next term that will have a good chance of earning an A or B grade. Less can oftentimes mean more when it comes to enrolling in classes. Consider taking fewer classes next semester so you have less to balance and more time devoted to your classes and receiving good grades. So, what if you do need to work while in school? Again, less is more. If you do plan on working full-time, about 30 to 40 hours a week, it is recommended that you reduce your units to 6 to 9 units. On average, students are able to balance working 20 hours or less a week while taking 12 to 15 units. Be realistic with yourself and make choices that will set you up for success. Another great resource on campus is tutoring services. If you find yourself struggling to pass classes in specific subjects or subject areas, it is recommended to seek one of the many tutoring services on campus. More information on our tutoring services can be found in Part 2. Sometimes unexpected events happen during the semester that are out of your control, and you need to drop a class after the withdrawal deadline. That's when you may submit a petition for a W. A petition for withdrawal may be submitted after the 50% point of a class under special circumstances. This includes previous semesters where a student received a substandard grade of D, F, FW, or no pass. These circumstances include illness, hospitalization, or medical reasons. Employment. Maybe you found a new job or your boss changed the days or times of your work schedule. Relocation. Illness or death of a family member or loved one. Incarceration. In order to submit a petition for a W, you will need to provide supporting documentation. This includes a letter of explanation and any documents to support the extenuating circumstances. The petitions are located at the Records Office, room SSC 55. Once the petition for withdrawal is submitted, it will need to be approved by the faculty member of that course. If approved, the transcript will reflect a W for that class. Have you heard of the Pass/No Pass form? A student has the option to switch the grading basis of a class from an evaluative grade, A, B, C, D, etc., to Pass/No Pass, which does not affect GPA. The form must be completed prior to the first 30% of a class. Please check the semester schedule for the exact date. If you changed your mind after you submit the Pass/No Pass form, you may revert back to receiving an evaluative grade, provided the reversal is completed prior to 30% of a class. If you choose to change the grading basis of a class you are enrolled in, you may submit it without a faculty signature. However, many four-year universities may limit the number of Pass/No Pass credit units. acceptable for transfer. Please check with the school you plan to transfer for their policy. In addition, courses that are considered major preparatory for transfer should never be taken on a pass-no-pass basis. Palomar's English 100, 202, and 203 are also excluded from taking as pass-no-pass. Generally speaking, courses numbered below 100 are best suited for the pass-no-pass grading option. We recommend meeting with a counselor to determine how the pass-no-pass option may affect your educational goals. The pass-no-pass form can be found at the Admissions and Records Office. You'll need the class number, course title, and the number of units in order to complete the form. All of the options mentioned so far are ways students can take personal responsibility for their own education. Often, students struggling also fail to discuss this situation with their instructors. Meeting instructors during their office hours is a great way to ask questions, explain areas in which you may be struggling, and seek strategies to be more successful in class. Establishing a study plan is another great way to get the most out of your classroom and college experience. One example is to join or form a study group with your classmates. Another is to create a study schedule that works for you. When creating a study schedule, be realistic with managing your time and what is needed to be successful in each class. Studies have also shown that students who demonstrate active learning techniques in the classroom are positive indicators for doing well in a class. Techniques like sitting in front of the class, asking questions, taking notes, and asking yourself if you are doing everything in your power to earn the best grades possible are all examples of active learning techniques. Thank you for completing part 1 of the Online Success Workshop.